One of the hardest jobs I've ever done was doing a film like this, 16mm colour sound film. Very, very hard to do. The film, it was called Barnsley, a portrait of the town and its people. And it was made by the Rotary Club. And over a period of time, I digitised it for the Barnsley archives in the town hall. But you've probably seen it on YouTube, but there were a lot of deleted scenes that are not on there. And all the lot were on that film. The film was made by the Barnsley Rotary Club and directed by a bloke named Brian Haigh. Well-known fella, Brian, now sadly passed away. But I was very, very fortunate in 2014 to meet up with him and discuss the film. It's a very, very interesting film when our Barnsley used to be. So let's start off first with the interview. Right, I've come here this morning to talk to Brian Haigh. Morning, Brian.
Morning, Dave.
Now, Brian, he was the director of this film, this Barnsley, a town and its people. And I think you're last of I remember, Brian.
Unfortunately, yes.
The Rotary Club. Right, so can you tell us all just a bit about the film? When was, the obvious question, when was it filmed?
1973-74. It was at the request, I was a member of Barnsley Civic Club, which of course all the other people who participated in the making of the film were. And we were asked by the Rotary Club of Barnsley if we could make a film about the town.
Yeah.
Which we were delighted to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So the Rotary Club liaised with all the companies in and around Barnsley for us to have access for filming.
Right.
So we went along with our cameras and so on and filmed it.
I know Tony Galvin, he was the...
Tony Galvin was the editor of the Barnsley Club at the time.
Yeah.
And he wrote the script.
Yeah. Yeah. We're just actually looking at the film here without the sound. It's just bringing the titles up. And so who's the bloke who was do the commentary?
Tom Bamford, he was a member of Expressity Club.
Tom Bamford.
He was thought to have a nice Yorkshire voice for the job. People could hopefully understand worldwide.
Yeah. I mean, it is fascinating, man. We're just looking at all the old firms, Beeson and Clark, and you know, the old National Coal Board and Wilson and Longbutt, they're all now defunct. Yeah. And that's unbelievable, and you know, in so short a space, it's so a big change, if you like. I mean, you caught this lot in its, I suppose, in its heyday, 1974.
Barnsley was booming at the time, of course, with all these various industries.
Yeah.
Coal, of course, being the mainstay, followed by glass, but it had lots of other industries as well.
Yeah, I know.
Unfortunately, they've all gone now.
I know. In the miners' strike in 1984, 15,000 miners just inside the borough. But this is fascinating. It's a lovely film. You know, it is on the YouTube as well. But what we've got here is the old film, the complete film, if you like. You know, Brian, we're just looking now at the Mayday Green Market. I mean, it's wonderful. Yes. I mean, that was complete. We've also got some films of Market Hill in 1963 for the museum, but this is fascinating. I mean, what can you remember about this lot, you know? This is
we went down, I remember Dorothy Hyman being there.
Yeah.
Was giving the special awards out, so we thought we'd go and take a few pictures of Dorothy Hyman, presenting the prizes to the stallholders.
This bit of now, Brian, I've got this piece on another film, on an 8mm.
Right.
The Oldfields, what do you call it?
Oldfields, I remember those, yes.
I mean, and what?
You could spend an afternoon in Barnsley Market and be entertained all afternoon.
I know, and what is so fascinating, what jumps out, everybody looked thin. Do you reckon? Everybody was thinner, you know?
Yes, yeah. I never thought about that. Yeah, probably they were.
I mean, that's Joe Edwards, of course.
It is, yes.
You know, but fabulous. It's a fabulous piece of social history. I mean, it's not 1974. In technological terms, the video camera wasn't invented until 1990. So
that's right. This was done on old the old way. We had a tape recorder and a cine camera, and we got to try and marry the two together when we'd done the recordings.
Oh,
That was all shot wild. The film was shot separate to the.
That is why it was so difficult to do.
It was very
Reel
difficult.
to reel. That's fascinating.
Trial and error.
Yeah.
To try and get the pictures and the sound to match.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, don't forget. I mean, you had all these big Hollywood blockbusters, Cleopatra, and they had the gear.
Yes. We
So,
did, of course,
I mean,
as amateurs.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at Market Hill here, and
Yeah.
and the town hall. I mean, how things have changed, right? So
Yeah.
you know.
It was shot on 16mm, which was a good thing. It's better quality, of course, than the
8mm.
than the 8mm.
Yeah. I mean, in 1974, there are not many people, Brian, went at 16mm.
They didn't. No.
Yeah. Let's call it the lower end of the working classes, or like me, they all had 8mm. You know, but
Well, there were in the Civic Club. There were 3 businessmen who was
right,
equipped with 16mm.
right,
And the
yeah,
rest of us had 8mm.
yeah, and all the other guys are dead. They've all passed away.
They've all gone, unfortunately. Yes, they have.
And a question, right? Was it a big thing? This, cine club.
There will be 20 to 30 members. There were probably
Right.
about 20. We used to meet in the pub, which is now gone, the Wheat Sheaf. Which was
Oh, the
Inn.
town, yeah.
It's now going to made way for the roundabout, for the town and roundabout.
Yeah.
Prior to that, we met in the Red Cross room at the bottom of Victoria Road,
Mm. Oh, yeah.
and then we transferred to the Wheat Sheaf. It was a longer, more suitable room for projecting films.
So obviously you had like small showings and that, you know. Do the people bring their own films? And
Oh yes, yeah. We
Yeah,
used to holiday films, and we used to hire films,
Yeah.
classical things, and show them every week. Yeah.
As I say, I mean, the advent of computers and about 10 years ago, it all changed.
It did.
And as I say, you're very fortunate, Brian, because it was only the people with a few money, like with a bobbage who could afford these things, you know.
Yes. I used to watch films sparingly at the time, going back to 74, if you bear in mind that a reel of 8mm film, which lasted 4 minutes,
Yes.
was £3.
Kodak and Ilford. Yeah.
Kodak, Kodak
yeah.
film, that's correct. £3 for 4 minutes, that was very, very expensive at the time. It was a day's wage, if you like. So you got to use the film sparingly.
I know. We bought our first one in 1968, me and Santa. We just got married and everybody thought we were stupid. They thought we were mental.
Well,
you know, we had much, you know.
I've had comments made to be similarly, but it was my hobby.
I know, a marvellous thing to look back on. It's marvellous.
It was my hobby, it's something I did. And,
We're just looking here, Brian. What's this? This is the town hall, of
we
course.
took that in the mayor's parlour in the town hall, sorry, in the council chamber in the town hall, yes we did.
Yeah. And
It was rather difficult to light because the film in those days was very slow compared to modern video cameras, camcorders.
this bit's intriguing, Brian. This.
That was taken in
The old
just
buildings.
behind the Wood Street area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Bare bones.
yeah, the Bear
Ah,
previously
right.
the Bear Bones, it was taken there, yes. It was,
Yeah.
it was Sheffield Road.
Yeah. And this is a new school. What's the Rail? Is it?
No, that was
Athersley.
taken to Athersley actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you captured that there. Yeah.
Yes.
That's Rotherham Road.
It is. It is.
That's where the traffic cop always stands with the camera.
Yes, that's Rotherham Road.
Right, we're just looking at, was it Wood Street, the old police station?
No, the police station you see there, that was behind the drill hole on Eastgate.
Eastgate, I do
Eastgate,
apologise.
yes.
Yeah. And the fire station, of course, that had moved.
It was, yes, the fire station that was Broadway. It had not been open very long when we took those pictures. On Broadway.
That was it. That was in Eastgate. The old fire station was in Eastgate, wasn't it? Have I got that
No,
right?
the old fire station was in Church Fields.
Church Fields.
Church Fields, and then they moved to Broadway.
Right.
The police parade ground was on Eastgate in the drill hole.
Yeah, I know. Well,
That's where that was filmed.
if there were a fire war in the old deck, we had to go there to drill, you know. Yeah, but this is a marvellous little film. It's
Yes, it had not been open very long, the fire station.
it's actually it is crystal clear. The fire lady. She's saying accident, Summer Lane.
Summer Lane.
Summer Lane. And the big question, what we all want to know, that accident, was it for real or did you...
Oh, she was calling a fire in Summer Lane.
Right.
This accident here, this was taken outside Ted Johnson's garage along Doncaster Road.
That's a write-off, that car, isn't
To
it?
show the emergency service at work, yeah.
And this is the old Becky's.
The Old Beckett Hospital, that's right. That's the Old Beckett Hospital. Of course, that's been transferred now to Gober Road.
Yeah.
Or the new hospital there.
Oh, it's a marvellous little film. It's, I think you just caught it in time. And
well, we did this for the Rotary, and then the council, the Barnsley Council, decided that perhaps they actually obtained a copy, and they was going to put it in their archives for future generations. It's only, what, 36 or so years since it was filmed. Yeah. But perhaps in another 50 or 100 years.
Oh yeah, I spotted the pit, Brian, this colliery.
Oh yes, Moncton.
Moncton,
yes, as you leave Royston for Rail, it's on the left there.
Yeah.
That's where that was filmed.
It had a wonderful tower.
It had a tower, went up there in a lift to do some shooting.
Yeah.
On the ground below, yes.
It was called a copy winder, actually. The idea being that the winder was on top of the shaft, a direct, it was a complicated Ward-Leonard system. It cost a bob or two, and it was a big white elephant, actually. Yeah, because the colliery closed not long after. This is Moncton now.
Yes, that's right, that's where we filmed that, that's Moncton, yes.
Yeah. Of course, years after they opened the Drift, Royston Drift, over the road. That's the Copy Winder.
That's right, that's the tower, went up there in a lift.
Oh, so you went up in the lift?
We did.
Did you?
We did, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Marvellous. I'd like to know what this bit was. Somebody was saying that it's woolly. They know this guy with the
I can't recollect. I was there when we filmed this, of course. I'm not sure if it's Barnsley Main, to be honest.
It could have been.
It might have been Barnsley Main.
Yeah. That guy there, you're well known.
I remember his face well, but I think it might have been Barnsley Main actually. But I'm not sure.
So, when the first film was first made, you just showed it locally, like.
We did. We showed it at the Rotary Club, of course. And they kindly presented us with a plaque each.
The actual processing, Brian, of the film, did you all have to get it onto 16mm then? Or did you have to pay separate like that?
No, it was filmed on 16mm. It was filmed on 16mm Kodachrome.
Right.
And then we edited the film on the original, which was not the thing to do, but we took bear in mind the costs.
Yeah.
So we edited it, and then we sent it away for copying. And the original sound went on a magnetic strip. There was down the side of the film in those days, and then when it transferred to optical sound, sent it away to Kodak, and they transferred it and made 3 copies.
Yeah.
Yes. Put optical sound on.
Yeah. As I said, Brian, I had a lot of trouble with the gentleman at the beginning with the glasses. His voice.
His voice has not come out true at all.
No.
It's a far richer, deeper voice than what's...
Yeah. But as I said, Brian, I could only film what's there.
That's right.
I can't make Bernard out of it.
No.
Yeah.
But it a nice voice.
And of course, Brent, there's 8 or 9 minutes, perhaps 9 minutes, of film that are extra to the original Bygone Barnsley thing. And
that's right.
On the YouTube.
Well, of course, I can understand that because there's a lot of superfluous shots in this film.
Yeah.
We went round and we did a bit with amateurs.
Oh yeah.
Simply amateurs.
The thing being, I think this is the original, and that's been edited.
It has been edited by the people who made the video. Yes, it has. As you said, they cut 89 minutes or so out of it. Yeah. Quite right. It could have cut it even more, but nonetheless, it does show the town. It would be a shame to lose it.
Oh yeah. What are you talking to you, Brian? You know, it's the first time we've met, and
it is indeed.
I think his paths have crossed a few times, or nearly. You know. And it's been wonderful, and I think it's a bit of something for the town, like, isn't it? You know?
Well,
so,
yes, hopefully.
Is there anything else you want to say, like, you know?
No, nothing at all. It's been a very enjoyable session I've had with you.
Yeah.
yes, I've enjoyed every minute explaining what we did and where we've been. And
I mean, it's a time capsule. It's a time thing in history, like.
That's why the Rotary wanted to do it, for exactly that reason, to be a time capsule, and that's why the council, the Barnsley Council, decided to get a copy, put it away somewhere in their archives for future generations.
Okay, anyhow, thanks a lot, Brian, and it's been a pleasure.
It's just for me.
Cheers, mate.
Many thanks.
Take a plane, take a car, or even take a long walk. And if your bearing's all right, you will arrive in a busy Yorkshire township on the eastern slopes of the Pennine Range. But for the present, why not just take a bus? A number 14 would do, and come with us to Barnsley. Our township lies some 19 miles to the south of Leeds and 14 miles to the north of the steel city of Sheffield. You could say Barnsley is closely akin to a supermarket with a county borough status, and thousands of people coming and going take advantage of one of the finest bus services in the country. Barnsley's 8,000 acres has a population of over 75,000 and also serves a busy industrial area of another 250,000 people. The town makes a natural shopping centre for the villagers around, and to this largest open-air market in the north of England come thousands of shoppers every week. For visitor and resident alike, Barnsley Market has much to offer. Something for the young, something for the not-so-young, something for everyone. Bananas by the bunch, apples by the pound, or it might be a bargain remnant to make a dress. And then again it might not. Local Olympic medalist Dorothy Hyman looks at some cups. Definitely not the race-winning type she usually collects. It was in 1249 that a charter was granted by King Henry III to hold a market day each week on a Wednesday. Where the thousands throng these days, it is worth recalling that when this charter was granted, it was likely that the customers did not number more than a few hundred, and only that on a fine day. It is by the way of Market Hill that at first glance is caught of the imposing headquarters of local administration, the Town Hall. It was the part of the celebrations to mark the Golden Jubilee anniversary of the granting of the county borough status to the town that a civic service was held in the parish church, followed by a parade through the town of representatives of virtually every local society and organisation. The people prayed and then paraded. The people's thanksgiving for half a century of prosperous self-government was also practical. For what better way to say a happy birthday to your hometown than to add to the collection of a Civic silver plate. Barnsley citizens chose to show their solid faith in the future of their town by donating solid pieces of silver, not as mementos of a glorious past, but for use well into the future when entertaining guests of the county borough. As the elected first citizen of the town, it is the mayor who also presides over the monthly meetings of the town council. The symbol of authority, the golden mace, is carried in procession ahead of the robed mayor and the bewigged town clerk. It is not forgotten, however, that unless talk inside the council chamber is not converted into action outside the chamber, then it is all just so much hot air divorced from reality. And for most people, reality starts with a solution to the problem of finding somewhere to live. But not just somewhere to live, it has to be somewhere fit to live. And so the old dwellings come down to make way for the new. It is recorded the spot on which stands the town of Barnsley was in early times one immense forest, where the early Britons found shelter in caves and hollow trees. A far cry indeed from the three-bedroom houses today provided by a council which started building homes in 1920 and which is now the biggest landlord in the town, drawing an average of 32 shillings a week from each of their 10,500 houses. Housing means homes. Homes means children. Children means schools have to be provided. Schools such as these, which provide primary and secondary education for some 14,000 children between the ages of 5 and 16. Barnsley is meeting this challenge of the future by spending over half of her income from the local rates on education. It is recognised as a vital investment in the national economy. The College of Technology, with its 6,000 part-time and full-time students, was opened in 1932. The latest development was the opening of extensions which cost well over £500,000. In this march of progress, the needs of the community are well served and safeguarded by the town's own police force, whose members are here seen moving out of their old headquarters into premises more worthy of the important role they have to play in a modern society. The new police headquarter building is one of the key units in a bold imaginative programme which will provide a whole series of new public service buildings in a civic centre development project. It is from this ever-alert nerve centre that calls for assistance are answered. The speed of this help is hastened by the fact that the sister fire and ambulance services are housed in one of the most modern fire stations in the country.
Barnsley Fire Brigade. Control calling. Warehouse fire, Summer Lane, Barnsley. Warehouse fire, Summer Lane, Barnsley. Warehouse fire, Summer Lane, Barnsley. Warehouse fire.
Within seconds of the alert being received, the emergency service vehicles, whether an ambulance or fire tender, are manned and on their way. Within minutes, they can be on the spot of any accident or fire incident occurring anywhere within the boundary of the town. Completing the circle of community care is the town's hospital service, which ranges from this general hospital, which bears the name of its founder, to this modern haven for the aged sick, which has risen like the phoenix on the site of a much older hospital. And on the drawing boards are plans for a new £9 million hospital. But what really makes this town of ours tick? The answer is coal. Coal and its byproducts. It is from the impurities left from coal after treating for coke, which mainly include coal tar, light oil and ammonia, are derived dyes, explosives, perfumes, antiseptic, plastic and man-made textiles. It is true that the changeover from a purely agricultural to an industrial community began with the manufacture of wire about the 16th century and was followed by the introduction of linen making in the middle of the 17th century. But there is little doubt that Barnsley owes special thanks for her prosperity in the 20th century to the presence of the rich coal-bearing seams beneath her boundaries. Before this date, it is feasible that our ancestors, while aware of the presence of the mineral, made no great effort to work it because they had a plentiful supply of wood near at hand, and which was easily obtained. Today, Barnsley is the centre of the Yorkshire coalfield, which has the biggest potential in the country, and which provides employment for nearly half of the male population in the locality. This prosperity has not been gained without a price paid in the lives of men who toil in the bowels of the earth with death and danger as their constant companions. Let us freely admit that the miner's job is a grim one, but let us also agree that the very nature of his calling has helped to mould within the character of the Barnsley miner those saving attributes of grit and gumption and greatness. No wonder that the figure of a miner with pick in hand is given prominence on the coat of arms of the county borough. His companion figure is the glass blower. The place he has earned for his trade is second only in importance to the mining industry in Barnsley. You take a giant-sized pinch of some silicates, add the right proportions of lead potassium carbonate, mix them with selected metal oxides according to knowledge gained from generations, and then place the mixture in the biggest and hottest oven ever seen outside any kitchen. In the control room, careful observations must be made to maintain correct temperatures to the molten glass. This dial reads over 1200 degrees centigrade, the temperature required. And there you have the molten mass, which almost magically, well, with the aid of machines, becomes a bottle. The fully automatic multi-mold machines, which work alongside the semi-automatic forming machines, turn out thousands of bottles every hour.
I am a Barnsley lass, you know, I can't speak la-di-da. I learned how to cook and clean and sew, and I said the and that. I liked an hopscotch with me friends and never traveled far. I wore me sisters and me downs, I could make the kettle boil. I chopped the sticks and lit the fire and carried coil from coil oil. I am a Barnsley lass, you know, and I say the and At the age of 20, the bands did wind, same old nappies on the line. It were hard to wash out all the grime, and the clothes get thinner all the time. And the sound of the marching clocks rang out up the backs and down the street. And all them tins of mantelpiece, it were hard to make things neat. I am a Barnsley lass, you know, I can't stay glad-y-da. I learned how to cook and clean and sew, and I said the and I laked out up Scotch with me friends and never travelled far. I am a Barnsley lass, I knows, and I said the and At the age of 40, time does fly. Loads changed, I wonder why. Grandkids bands, they laugh and whine. Same old nappies on the line. And the old folks, they are gone now. And to me, it's such a shame. And the streets come down in Todo Town, it just don't look the same. I am a Barnsley lass, that us. I can't
Supplying the power units which keep many wheels turning around the globe is the local unit of a firm of electrical motor manufacturers. This is just one of the variety of industries which have been introduced to the area in the post-war years as part of the local priority policy of providing employment opportunities of a non-mining character for the menfolk and for more than adequate reservoir of women and girls seeking work. Here at this modern factory, the nimble fingers of the girls are ideally suited to that branch of electrical engineering of which the end product, after a variety of processes, is the electric motor.
I can't stay glad-y-da. I learned how to cook and clean and sew, and I said the and I laked out up Scotch with me friends and never travelled far. I am a Barnsley lass, I knows, and I said the and At the age of 40, time does fly. Loads changed, I wonder why. Grandkids bands, they laugh and whine. Same old nappies on the line. And the old folks, they are gone now. And to me, it's such a shame. And the streets come down in Todo Town, it just don't look the same. I am a Barnsley lass, that us, I can't speak la-di-da. I learned how to cook and clean and sew, and I said the and I laked out up Scotch with me friends and never travelled far. I am a Barnsley lass, that us, and I said the and I'll teach thee the and
But one must not be misled by the picture we have so far painted in tones of black and grey of a town in its working clothes. For when it comes to putting on her best clothes, she can compare in beauty with the best. The smoke, grime, dust and dirt of the workaday world can soon be forgotten by a visit to the Loch Park. This 40 acres of greenery was opened in 1862 as a memorial to the famous engineer Joseph Loch, whose name is linked with many engineering feats at home and abroad. While the tower which dominates the horizon was built to the memory of his wife. An acquisition on behalf of the townspeople of much later date was the country house and parkland of Cannon Hall. The house, now an art gallery and a museum, and the park and its waters are a popular rendezvous for art lovers, artisans at ease and anglers. For those who like a little more action, either a spectator or player in their off-duty hours, there is the game with the small ball, which has to be hit. And the game with the bigger, bouncing type of ball, which has to be kicked. Barnsley's principal sporting interest, at any rate during the winter months, is the 3rd Division Association Football Club, whose home is Oakwell. Formed in 1887 under the name of Barnsley St. Peter's, the club has had its ups and downs over the ensuing years, up into the 2nd Division, but also down into the 3rd. But one day in 1912, the club was really on the upgrade, for it carried off the premier trophy in English football, the FA Cup. So this is the kaleidoscope which goes to make up this town of Barnsley. Mentioned in the Doomsday Book on 1086, called Black Barnsley by author Daniel Defoe. Made a county borough in 1913, the town now looks forward with confidence to the future. Black Barnsley, bustling Barnsley, boomtown Barnsley. Call us what you will, but whatever you care to name us, we who work and live here are happily content to call it